Hello there, this is Tabitha, and this is Tabitha is Okay. Today I'm going to show off my speed build of remodeling the Raffia Quinta, which is one of the base game lots from The Sims 4. I believe it's in Oasis Springs, based off of the environment, but that might not be right. But it is from the base game. This is me just sort of making, at least at first, stuff on the outside sort of match. I don't think that this house is terribly ugly by its design. It's just that I thought there was a lot of too many colors, basically. Like, I sort of just go through, change all the light on the lot to make sure that the exterior colors match a lot better, make everything look more consistently like that type of modern, make sure that the stairs look good and that they match. You can see that I just sort of fine tune what they did with the base game exterior, at least, including making the faux fireplace here look a little bit better now that we have platforms. You can see I'm adding a rim to the top so it just looks more complete. Like I said, the outside wasn't too horrible, but I wanted everything to match a little bit better and be more consistent. What I really had a problem with was the inside. As you can see, this is extremely dark, very closed off, and not very inviting. And one of the first things that I do in here is I try at first to sort of leave things and redecorate, but eventually I go through and delete everything here and start over because it's just a lot. I didn't mind having the kitchen being semi-separate, like having the one wall, but I did make it into, and I believe I left it as a half wall because it just is a little bit more open and inviting that way. Even though your Sims don't care, I care. I happen to really like the ultra modern billions of colors cabinets, and I know they're sort of expensive if you only have base game, but I like them enough that I pretty much always use them unless I'm trying really hard to be cheap. And like having that little bit of extra money spent on upper cabinets make this tiny kitchen look a lot better, neater, more modern, just fits the house better, I think. As you can see, I'm putting a dining area in. I really like the idea of having like a set aside area for doing dining. I put a kids' room in this house, so I also made sure that I actually went through and had enough room for them to do activities like doing their homework and stuff. So a dining table is kind of important to me in that kind of gameplay. Sort of fussing with the kitchen and the dining room, you can tell I'm like trying to pick things that make this all look sort of more together, more unified. Again, just like with the outside, I wanted things to just looked like they belonged together a little bit more. And so like I sort of grayed out the kitchen and the walls, but at the same time, I still think it really pops because of the different shades of gray and having the silver with the gray, keeping that matching with the dining set and the rug as well and the wallpaper. I really like it, that super modern look. I also use these Tiny Living lights. I think it's from Tiny Living. It's definitely pack lights, but I love those lights. I use them a lot. They are short enough that they don't get in the way of gameplay. At least for me, the short ones anyway, not the long ones. And they just provide something a little bit different than the inset ceiling light that I usually use. Sometimes I don't put tons of decorations, but this one I really tried to like make this house feel lived in and warm. It needed a good remodel, you know? Yeah, look at this. Like, even though I'm going ultra modern with a lot of this, I'm trying to make the lighting consistent and a lot brighter than it was before. Like, if you remember, even at the beginning of the speed build, this house was so dark without all the lights that I've been adding in. I'm surprised that that's the couch that I went with, but I know that for gameplay, that couch is great because for the price that it is, it has a lot of value, but it doesn't really match the house. I wonder if I change it later. But if not, either way, whatever. Maybe it's grandma's couch. I think part of the reason that I use that couch, even with modern stuff, is just because it looks really neat and clean. Some of the dressers, especially the base game dressers, they purposefully made them look scuffed and like dirty. And while I understand why, especially because the cheap ones, like you're supposed to think of them as used, which is great, but also that's not what I always want. And like the quote unquote fancy looking dressers almost always look scuffed, which I don't like. But this couch that I used in the living room isn't like that at all. Okay, so this brightly colored room that I'm sort of starting to work on, first of all, no judgies. I am not super great at kids' rooms, and this is one of the ones that I was working on, to try and use as few varied pieces as possible. I try to always use the same lights in the bedrooms and then the same lights in the public spaces. So as you can see, I used the short hanging lights in all the public spaces, and I'm trying to use these round, softer, warmer lights in the bedrooms. And part of that is so that these downloads can be used on, computers that can't handle quite as many assets, which is fine. But it also just kind of creates, again, that consistent look and feel, which is something that happens in real houses. Like people try to use as few different types of lights as possible. That way you can buy them in bulk, or so that you can, just save money, or space or time. Like there's a lot of different reasons. Okay, you can see that I'm making this room for like a child, not a toddler, because I put a desk in here ready to do homework. Tried to make it so that the space is ready to be teened up too. But I focused on, for sure, making it a child's room because, like, you can see I'll put toys in here. Again, struggling with finding a dresser that doesn't look like garbage. Ugh. So I use the eco lifestyle ones a lot, or the tiny living ones a lot. I really like those for dressers. And I always put a mirror in kids' rooms for gameplay as well, because it helps them with practicing their speech. As well as toys, toys, toys. Okay, so this is part of what I have a problem with when I am decorating kids' rooms personally, is I am not sure why the toys are so tiny in comparison to the other kids' items. And so the kids' rooms always look like either made for a extremely tiny child or an extremely huge child, and then half of the furniture either way is the wrong size. You know what I mean? But anyway, you could see I'm trying. I make sort of an ultra modern master suite over here, or master bedroom, I should say. It's not a suite. But, just sort of simple with lots of space to put things down and like upgrade and change things. Making everything, again, that like sleek sort of modern look just because it fits with the house a little better. Modern comfy, is that a thing? If not, it should be. It makes me think a little bit of like the super straight back chairs that you see, but with like warm, cozy, thick fleece blankets thrown over them. That's kind of what I was going for when I was designing this house. I really like the idea of like people with slick modern tastes coming in and just really making this their home. I tried to add a lot of like clutter items that were sort of important to creating that story, but again, I didn't want to go overboard so that more than enough people could download it. And for this other little bedroom, instead of doing a second kid's bedroom, which you could easily do, like make that a baby's room or something, especially because it's right next to the kids' or the parents' bedroom, I have turned this into an office, especially like a cute little sassy office. I tried to think about gameplay oriented stuff. And like, do you need two kids' rooms, or do you want a kids' room and a work from home office, especially one with like, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but this is being published in early 2021 and the pandemic is still going on. And so, like, just the idea of getting to renovate a little tiny home office was enough to make me do that instead of doing a second kid's bedroom. And I really like how it came out, especially because it's very small. If you're going to use this for a third bedroom, do a baby's room first. Like, you can always expand later. But yeah, see, putting all these things in here, it's just like this efficient little home office. Very cute. And then last but not least, I did the bathroom. I like to have the bathtub in case you're starting off with the toddler or the kid and you need to make sure they have a bath. And then just getting everything set up so that there's like, I like the decent sized bathroom in The Sims because they walk in on each other all the time, which is so annoying. But I don't know if you've noticed this, but it's even slower when they walk into each other as well as walking in on each other. So I like to leave plenty of room in the bathroom. I think this one is decent. Nothing magical about it, but lightly decorated, very cute. And yeah, this is the remodel. It's available on my gallery if you'd like it. Have a great day, you guys.